Welcome back to Fast Market here on Schwab Network. I'm Diane King Hall alongside Kevin Hinks over there at the SIBO. Time now for our Cash Tag segment. For that, we want to bring in our next guest, and that is Andy Swan, co-founder of LikeFolio. We're taking a look at PayPal today, especially as it compares to other fintechs. So, Andy, let's get right into it. How does PayPal stack up compared to other fintechs?
Yeah, happy Monday. I think, PayPal was a stock and a company that not too long ago we would have kind of declared dead or a zombie company, but they're really making some massive strides to a big comeback. And I think the big setup, the big trend that they're starting to ride now is what they call agentic commerce, where AI assistants can actually make purchases for you. And I think that their integration with MasterCard's Agent Pay is a real step in a critical direction, because when we look at this agentic layer of commerce, the total addressable market is projected to explode really from 136 billion today to over 10 times as big, $1.7 trillion by 2030, which is 67% growth year over year for the next 5 years, which is an enormous number. And then on the other side, so what's happening today? What's happening with PayPal to get those users into its ecosystem so that they can take advantage of this massive wave? And that's really that Venmo is just helping them make a massive comeback with the younger audience, with college kids, campus partnerships, et cetera. We're seeing Venmo engagement in terms of LikeFolio data up 21% year over year, while both Cash App and Square are negative, telling us that there was a little while there where Cash App and Square were kind of dominating the younger users, but that has faded away, and Venmo's made a nice comeback. So PayPal's doing a great job of getting the next generation of consumers inside of its ecosystem, while simultaneously, hitching its wagon to the next, massive wave in consumer commerce, and that is AI-enabled commerce. So we like what PayPal's doing quite a bit here.
Andy, Venmo has become what every company wants to be, and that's a verb, right? It amazes me the age demographic with Venmo is young adolescents all the way to me and my peer group are using Venmo. It's massive. And so that is such a dominant way to get you in the PayPal ecosystem that anything that they can do to enhance that and add to that, and if agentic commerce you think is the next catalyst for them, they are getting the eyeballs and the wallets that they need to go forward. But Andy, who do they compete with? Do they compete with Visa or MasterCard? Do they compete with Shopify? Who are they trying? Because I'm sure they'd love to compete with Visa and MasterCard for swipes. But who are they really competing with? And is there anyone competing in this next chapter, which is agentic commerce?
Yeah, I don't think of Visa and MasterCard as competitors, and certainly not Shopify. I think PayPal can enhance those offerings and work really well with those companies. I think they've done a great job of forging phenomenal partnerships with those companies. I think of their competitors more like, Block and the Cash App, those types of companies that also enable peer-to-peer payments, I think is the most likely competitor that you're going to find. And I think PayPal's really woken up and figured out a way to, they figured out that what they have in hand will work, and that is Venmo. They kind of slept on the Venmo application for a really long time. They tried to lean people into the actual PayPal application, but Venmo's just easier. Like you said, kids and us adults, we all like it. We all use it. It's very easy to use. And so I think that shift from, forcing people into the PayPal experience and just saying, all right, if people want to be at Venmo, that's going to be the tip of our spear to get into these markets, I think was a strategic stroke of genius. It was a little late, but now that they're there, it's extremely effective.
Let me ask you this, Andy. So Kevin just mentioned the kind of competitive landscape. I wonder if part of it is this also, the ease of Apple Pay, for instance. I do love Venmo, and I think, a lot of people from young to us, I hate to characterize this as, for lack of a better word, oldies, using Venmo. Everybody uses it, but then you've got Apple Pay. And PayPal's performance, you said it at the beginning of this, you would have characterized it as zombie-like or dead. What is it now about it that you like? What kind of earnings score, especially when given the underperformance that stock has had year to date?
Yeah, I like the underperformance of the stock. I think that Wall Street is still sleeping on this company a little bit. It gives us the opportunity to make, risk-defined bullish bets to the upside on these earnings events, because I think that the story that they can tell with agentic commerce, with integration with MasterCard, with the success they're having with the younger generation in Venmo, is a pretty compelling story that, as Wall Street kind of wraps their head around it, can put a bid behind the company. So we're positive, we're bullish going into this report, and it's one of those situations where, if I were going to trade this event, I might go ahead and say, look, if I get stuck with some shares because Wall Street sells this off 5 or 6%, I don't mind that. I like this company enough long term that I can have that sort of conviction paired with the short term earnings style trade. So I like it bullish, whether you're short term or long term, however you want to structure that trade. I think could be a really nice play here.
Okay, Andy, we'll leave our conversation there for today. That is Andy Swan, co-founder of LikeFolio, with a look across PayPal, especially as it compares to peers in the fintech space. All right, let's get Tom White back in here into this conversation because I know Tom will have thoughts on PayPal, especially going to its earnings. We've kicked around a lot of expectations for earnings this week. Tom, your take before you guys get to the example trade.
Yeah, I think it's all about transactions.